Okay, so we're here today with my good friend and long-term growth network coaching client, soon to be coach, Simone Hopkins. How are you, Simone?
I'm good, thank you, Rick. You?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm cool. Right. So, for those of you that don't know Simone, we're going to get into a little bit of her background about her martial arts and her martial arts school. She runs an amazing martial arts school, like the Cheltenham, Gloucester area. She's got a lot of experience, and she's been making some amazing um, growth, developments, pushing the business forward, innovation. There's been so much that this lady has done over the past few years with her martial arts school. Because they're really, really proud of how she's just driven and led from the front. And I don't think we hear enough about people like this that are doing the big things, like solid things. So I thought we'd get on and have a chat with her and find out what she's doing, and hopefully we can take some things away for our own schools. Right. So Simone, to start off with, you want to give us a little bit of a background about you as a martial artist and your martial arts school, when your journey started, etc.
Well, I started martial arts at the age of 11. Started competing pretty much straight away. Wasn't particularly very good to begin with. So worked hard to get a standard where I could compete on all the circuits. So some people may remember me from like the MAIs, the FSKs, the WACO stuff. So yeah, I started in 82, so 40 years this year. Started teaching very early on at 15. Because you could in those days. I sort of got a kids class thrown at me, and didn't really get any. I wasn't taught how to teach, but I learned on my feet. And yeah, I rebranded almost 8 years ago now.
Yeah.
And at the time, I had very old ways of marketing. So expecting people just to come to me really, and not having any idea really of social media marketing, Facebook ads, Instagram. Didn't actually have any knowledge of any of those things. I was throwing the odd £5 here and there on Facebook ads, but not really knowing what I was doing.
Yeah.
I thought I'd done quite well to teach. I had about 38 students, and I thought I was doing okay, but I realised that I needed to start getting some support and help.
Awesome. Cool. So I think we've all been there, haven't we, where we're doing what we think we're supposed to be doing, but we're kind of playing at it and not getting the results. It takes a lot to come to realization initially that, you know what, I need to do something. Right. So you went on to do some coaching, is that right?
Yeah. I had another coach for I think it was about 2-3 years. And that worked well for me for a while. But then I reached a point where I didn't really feel like I was moving forward, and I also felt like I was working harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
So I had reached out to you because obviously we sort of knew each other a little bit.
Yeah.
And jumped on a call with you and decided that it would be a really good move for me and my business to sign up for some coaching with you.
Awesome. Cool. So before coming on to like the growth network, what was your kind of approach to business? What was your kind of ethos?
I had a very old school way of thinking. As I said, I just thought that people would come to me because of who I was, or if I promoted, what achievements I'd had, or what achievements my students had had, or my sons had had. So I've got 3 sons that are in the business as well. I didn't really understand about selling and closing. I didn't understand about showing the value in what we do.
Yeah.
I didn't understand about how important freedom is for me. I had a vision of having 100 students. Pre-COVID, we hit 250 members, which was good numbers for us. But I didn't have the infrastructure in place, the foundations in place to actually manage it properly. And I was running around, 7 days a week. And I was burning out quite a lot as well. So I was getting ill 4 or 5 times a year.
So when it came to that, because we're focusing on like sales and profitability and stuff. Talk to me about that 250 members. Was that what you we all have this kind of aspiration? We give ourselves a number of how many students we want. So we think that that's going to solve all our financial burdens and stuff. Was that the case? Was it as profitable and as streamlined as you thought?
It was profitable, but as I said, I was working my backside off to make it profitable. I was taking on people in positions staff-wise, which were definitely not the right people that I should have had in place. So yeah, the money was good, but to be fair, I'm earning more money now, and I'm working less. I'm coming at 52 years old, so the days of me working 7 days a week, are gone. It's not what I want anymore. I was very much pushed with my previous coach. It was numbers. What are your numbers? Of course, it's important to know your numbers, but really the emphasis is on your income, because the income is what's going to give you that opportunity to take on staff, which is then going to give you the opportunity to have freedom, and also more money to invest in your business as well.
Yeah, it's working smart and not harder, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, what things have you put into place, or when did you start putting things into place that would help you increase your revenue, become more profitable without working harder? What did that look like?
Well, pretty much very early on with you could, I sort of clicked very much in that you understood where I was. So as an individual, where I was and where I was at my stage of life as well. I'm not 21. I don't want 10 super centres or anything like that. I want to have a comfortable life, and provide, employment for my family, and also, to be able to take on other staff. And, that's a big thing for me as well, being able to provide that. So, obviously on one of our first calls, we talked about where we were, where I was and why I was doing what I was doing, because I think that's really, really important to get that realization of what you want. And at that time, I probably didn't realize that I wanted more freedom. So there were things like, I was running every workshop, every course, every single event that we run myself.
Yeah.
Now I'm not. So we run 8 workshops a year, which are all very, very well attended now. They weren't then. I don't run any of those. We also run 6 courses a year. I only run one of those myself.
Wow.
And I think, COVID was a really big eye opener for me, of where I wanted to go. And I remember having a conversation with you about what I wanted to change within the business, because that was the time to change it.
Yeah.
So I used to teach Fridays. I used to teach Saturdays. So if I wanted to go away for a weekend, I always had to try and get cover. I'm recently married, so it's important that we get time together as well. I was running courses, gradings, all sorts of things on Sundays.
Yeah.
So we looked at my timetable. I'm in satellite schools. So I hear a lot of people saying they can't make changes because they're in satellite schools. Was it easy? Possibly not, but was it worth it? Definitely. So, you got me contacting different venues, looking at the timetable, looking at our staff structure, and making some really, really important changes. So at the current time, I only teach 2 evenings a week. And that's something from next summer that I'm going to be looking at making further changes on as well.
See, this is the thing, isn't it? I think you hit the nail on the head when you said about it wasn't easy to make the change, but it was kind of necessary to make the change.
I mean, it wasn't easy, but it wasn't as hard as I'd created in my own head either. Because by the time I put the phone down with you, I was having a complete breakdown of how is this going to work. I didn't say I couldn't do it. I just needed to find a way to do it. And you gave me some pointers of what to do, about talking to my staff, and all. I created a lot of barriers within my own head that weren't actually there. So that was definitely one of the best things that has happened for me. The way we run gradings is very different now. We have a very profitable grading, and we also, have extra income on grading days from merchandise and things like that as well. So we do very well on that.
Good.
Same with workshops and courses. I used to have, I'd sort of put it out to the students as a bit of a last minute thing. We might have 5 or 6 attending. Now we're sold out on every single one. Our last workshop, which was our sparring workshop, had 40 attending that.
It's crazy. Well
So
done.
they are constantly sold out. As I say, we have 4 in the start of the year and repeat them in the second part of the year. But it's about obviously having things in place, processes in place, so that it's very easy for us to communicate with our members as well.
Yeah.
Making sure we've got an adequate CRM system. I'm on my 3rd CRM system. And the one I'm with now, obviously you guided me towards. Really, really happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
The team work very well with it. And we're looking at other ways of, sort of taking me into the background of the business a little bit more as well.
Awesome. I mean, that's the thing as well. It's like, I know that I speak to a few school owners, and they feel guilty about, they think that I'm going to push them towards stepping away from their business and leaving their business to run by itself. When in reality, it's not about that. It's about each individual getting their life and their business to where they want and where they need it to be. So if it's healthy for you and it feels good for you to teach 7 days a week, excellent, that's fine. But if it doesn't, then it will be pointed out, and then you'll change. It's about understanding that whatever way you want to go within your business, you can go that way. You can make it happen. There are just better ways of doing things.
Well, obviously I've had an injury this year, so I've had quite a serious injury this year in my knee, which I'm having surgery on this week.
Yeah.
And so if I hadn't had those things in place, we could have lost our business.
Yeah.
I've created a team that can run without me, so I'm not in for the next 2 weeks anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a biggie now if I'm not around. It's so I think, as you're getting older as well, you've got to realize that you will start to slow down, and your priorities are going to be very, very different as well.
Yeah.
But I think it's about having somebody to show you that sometimes where you don't realize it yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
My why when you first started coaching me was just to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more students.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't actually think about the impact it was having on my quality of life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been abroad 3 times this year. My business has run while I was away. I've got a grandchild on the way. I want to be able to spend time with my granddaughter when she comes along. So, it's great when you're in your 20s and maybe even in your 30s. But I think when you start hitting those 40s, 50s, 60s, what you actually want is very, very different. You don't want to be teaching, 24/7, because it's not just the teaching that comes with the business, is it? That's the easy part.
Yeah,
it's
true.
I've had people say to me before, "Oh, don't you get bored all day because you're not teaching in the evening?" And it's yeah, exactly. So it's all the other stuff that comes with it, with running a business, making sure you've got staff, taking some of the workload as well, which we have. We've incorporated the Martial Arts University instructor program as well, which has been absolutely fantastic. Again, I'd tried to do my own. I'd also been for another program, but this is great because it's literally just plug it in, play. And we're on our 7th month now with our first block of instructors coming through. By next June, I'll have a whole team of instructors that are there. You've also encouraged me to develop a leadership program. So we did have leadership before, but it was very hit and miss.
Yeah,
it wasn't proper training for it. So we have our monthly trainings now for both the instructor training and the leadership training as well. And cool. So that's another thing that we've sort of got involved with this year.
That's really cool. I mean, so what it sounds like is that you've really, look, as you know, the Growth Network's about it's literally creating systems within the business. You've got set systems, the way that the Growth Network do it, and then it's putting those systems into your business, implementing, and then tweaking them to your own business.
I'm not going to go into too much detail, but like your Pro Shop Maximizer, that has helped me to dramatically increase my income from my Pro Shop.
Let's talk about that a second. So before you use a Pro Shop Maximizer, what kind of results were you getting regarding your sales and around that kind of thing, like monthly basis or something?
I don't know. We could be earning anything from a couple of hundred a month to 500 a month, something like that. It was very hit and miss. I wasn't proactive with making sure that our pro shop was fully stocked and also marketed to our students as well. It was always an afterthought rather than it being actually planned, and obviously having a process to go through to deliver that to our students as well. So we've had a massive change on that. I'm not really going to go into what my income is on my pro shop, but it's dramatically more than it was.
Okay, awesome.
My the event maximizer as well, which has helped me with getting all our processes in place for workshops and also for our courses and extra events that we're doing, like our Christmas sale. We did very well. I did my first Christmas sale last year, like personal shopper event. And I had a target in my mind and I smashed through that target, and that was my first one. So this year, obviously, we're going bigger and better on that one as well. It's given me the confidence to do things like that I didn't even think about doing before. We just do a random Christmas sale, which, again, probably only brought in £200-300, something like that.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. That's good. But so what else do you like? I know you've really, really immersed yourself in everything that we do, and you're inspirational to the other guys as well. So what is it that you love about and hate about the Growth Network?
Obviously, I've been in a mastermind before, and that worked for me for a while. But then I did feel like I didn't really gel with everything that it was about. And I think it's very important to feel comfortable with the group that you're in. And I know for you, Rick, you just don't have egos in the room. So that's an appeal for me. I've been in the martial arts industry a long time. I'd like to think that people don't think I've got a big ego or anything like that. If they do, then sit down and have a chat with me, and you see that I've got a different side to me. So having people around me that I can bounce off, even people that are sort of starting out, I can still learn something from them.
100%.
Love masterminds, when we come up for mastermind, and obviously that's 4 times a year, so it's something that I'm not racing about trying to do it every month or anything like that. It's 4 times a year, and then we have our calls as well. So we have our group calls, and we have those like every other week. Well, we have them in the mornings as well now.
Once weekly now, isn't it?
Yeah, once a week. So we have some in the morning, and then some on the Sunday evening as well, which every single time I come away with, I got a page of notes from this morning because we had a call this morning. And I just love being around the people that are within our mastermind. Some of them I've known from for a few years now, and some people are new to our mastermind. But I just feel like everyone's willing to share, and I think that's very, very important in a mastermind, that we can all sit there and be honest, and share our wins and also our challenges as well. I think without doing that, you're never going to move forward.
It's true. I mean, one ethos that we've got within our group is student numbers are very, very important. It really is. It's important to gauge what we need to do and highlight what we're not doing with our business, not to get bragging rights and stuff. It doesn't define how good or bad your business is. There are so many other areas that need to be looked at, like staffing and efficiency of time management and all these different aspects. And I love the fact that, like you said, everybody's kind of open and vulnerable enough to just say exactly how things are now. And when we get that information, it's easier for us to say what needs to happen next, Because I know that myself, when I've been mentored before, I felt the pressure of like, I'm here. I don't really want to say that I'm here. And then I'm being told to do this up here. So, like, well, it's easy to say it, but what are the steps that need to happen? Well, what's the next thing? And it's something that we're big on. Is like, okay, so what's the next logical thing? Like the Monday morning calls is like a clarity call. What's the next thing that you need to get focused on? And is it the next thing? and have you considered everything, and blah blah blah, so that you've got complete clarity. But yeah, I appreciate your time today. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us or say about your journey or you've gone to school? Because you really do have an amazing setup, and I'm excited to see where you're going.
I just think, since I've been with Growth Network, it's opened my eyes to the possibilities of of us expanding, but without me working any harder than I already do. So that's something which we're going to be looking at as well. Just the element of professionalism, and it's making me want to be more professional. When I come to a mastermind or something like that, the structure's there, so it makes me then, when I provide training for my staff, to have that structure and to have that element of professionalism as well. I think in the martial arts industry, there are some amazing instructors out there. There are some amazing school owners out there. But I think as an industry, we're behind a lot of other industries. And that's not because of the people. It's just because of the lack of knowledge. And then I think, there's a lot of old school instructors who find it very, very difficult to ask for help. And also, tackle technology and things like that. I know, some people find that difficult. I'm not the most techie person, but I'm learning, and I'm quite enjoying learning as well. But I think that, if they just jumped on a call with you, I think it would open their eyes, to be honest, because it did for me. Just 30 minutes was eye-opening, really. And I was at a point where I thought I had all the boxes ticked, and I definitely hadn't. And as I said, I was growing really, really quickly, but we didn't have those foundations there, which meant there were a lot of cracks. It manifested in, I went on holiday to Mexico a few years ago, and because I'd got the wrong team member in the wrong position, she jacked her job in day 6 of my holiday. So that, you probably remember that. So now it's very important to make sure that we've got the right people in the right places, so that these sort of things don't happen, whereas I'm taking 2 weeks off now, and I've got absolutely no reservations about doing that. I'm very happy that we've got things in place, and I know that if anything does crop up, that I can have a chat with you on one of our calls, and we can put things how they need to be. But yeah, I've been with you for almost 4 years now. And I'm learning something every single week, which I absolutely love. There's always something. I don't know everything at all, but I'm willing to learn, and like I say, the people involved are great. I'm not just saying that to be nice. I just find everybody very approachable, and I'm more than willing to help people that are starting on the journey. But then there's people that I feel like know a lot more than me that are willing to help me as well. It's just really nice.
That's what we call a network, because it really is a network. It's not separate groups based on your student numbers or finances or anything. It's one network, because like you said at the beginning, literally everybody's got something that they can teach or share or inspire others to be better in.
And sometimes it's just things that I've forgotten. I'll listen to someone else sharing their journey, and you're giving them advice, and I'm like, do you know what? I'm still not doing that. So it's always a good reminder. And I think it's very important to stay humble as well, because it keeps you on a level where you're open to learning, you're open to your own personal development, which is something that's very, very important to me, and I know it is to you as well. So yeah, it's just great. I'm very happy with everything, and looking forward to getting more involved with Growth Network.
Excellent. That's going to be exciting. More about that soon. If there are any school owners that are just starting out, or maybe you've got less than 50 members, and you're unsure where to go, and you've been inspired by what Simone has said today, reach out to Simone. I should have asked her first.
Just thrown that one at me.
Reach out to Simone, and then I'm sure she'll give you a little bit of her time, because we do business booster calls now, 15-minute business booster calls, where you get one strategy for free, a little bit of guidance in what direction to go in. So if that interests you, then reach out. Obviously, you can reach out to me as well. But if you resonated with something that Simone said, reach out to Simone. and I'm sure she'll give you some of her time. Simone, thank you so much. One, for giving us your time today, because I know you're very, very busy, and two, for being an absolutely amazing friend. And I hate using the word client; it sounds cold, doesn't it? I need an alternative to client. Just keep us mate, Rob Network mate.
Yeah, but we are friends, but we're also, we also work in business as well. And that's great. Those lines don't sort of cross either, which is cool. So yeah, no, it's a pleasure. And again, if I can help anybody, that'd be absolutely amazing. Reach out to me or Rick. If you want to jump on a 15-minute call just to see where you're at and where we can get you to, or areas that need improvement, then more than happy to do that.
Brilliant. Awesome. Okay, thank you guys. As usual, if you need anything, reach out. Is there any topic areas you'd like us to talk about? Again, just say, and take care. See you soon.